Hello friendos and randos, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the return of an old, very popular deck, which is Red Zoro. I think with the release of OP08, there has been a decent amount of support for Red Zoro in the new Chopper and Animal package, and well, the very common terminology, I guess, the common pet name for the deck now is ZOORO because of all the different animals that you'll be using in the deck. So I think Zoro Leader doesn't need any introduction, but of course it is a very simple effect. Down-1 during your turn, all of your characters have plus 1000 power. I think it's a very simple, straightforward and powerful effect. And next I will be showing you the deck list. So first off, the new key card for the deck is going to be the OP08 Chopper. So this card's effect is during your turn, on play and when attacking, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, and then if there is an animal type character with 4k power or less, you can play it down on the board rested. So this card is really powerful. It lets you swarm the board much faster, and not only that, compared to the older versions of Zoro where you get mostly 3k or 2k characters on the board with your searchers or Dadan or things like that, 4k characters mean you can attach one Don to leader and all of them can sing 5k. The consistency of this deck is also really high because it can flood board very quickly, and a lot of targets are very good and a lot of them are also searchable. So to add on to, of course, the animal team, we're going to have a lot of choppers in this deck. So next is the EB01 blocker chopper. Blocker and Down-2, when attacking, you can minus 3k power to a character. So this card comes in pretty handy, especially when dealing with things like 6k blockers, with rested characters on the board, being able to just trade very efficiently. So quite a big fan of this. On top of that, it does really well in preventing lethal for the following turn. Let's say you want to set your opponent at 0 life and then you just set 2 blockers so that you don't die next turn, and then you can Diablo Jambe to finish. Is also very good. Next, we also have 4 of the 3-cost Alabasta OP04 Chopper. On play, you may play a 3k or 3k power or less animal from your hand. So this doesn't have that many targets in this deck, but it does have one pretty good target in the Hiking Bear, which we'll talk about later. Other than that, is again a chopper and it's also a 4k power animal, so of course it makes the cut. The last chopper we have is the OP01 Chopper. Down-1 when attacking, discard 1 card and you can add a 4-cost or lower Straw Hat Pirate type card except for chopper from your trash to your hand. So this is primarily used to cycle your 2k counters, so you can throw a non-counter card to grab a 2k from your trash, or you can also cycle non-counter to grab a Rush Zoro, or you can grab a Brook as well, or you can even grab Nami Searcher to help you quickly find your Diablo Jambe. So pretty good addition as well. I believe this is one of the last 4k animals we have, which is Robson. Down-2, this character gets rush, so he is a 5-cost 7k rush with your leader effect, 6k without. So pretty good as well. Playable again off of the chopper, which is great, and just more rush units is really good in the old 8 meta in order to push RP Law as well as Lucci to low life earlier. Okay, next, with all of the choppers and animals that we've shown, we are also running 2 copies of Dr. Kureha. Dr. Kureha's effect is look at the top 4 cards of your deck and you can grab a Drum Kingdom or a chopper card from the top of your deck. So we're only running 2 copies because we found that with this as well as Nami, I think it gets a little bit clogged in terms of the number of searches, and you rather just have more like animal targets instead. So I say we here because this list is primarily used by one of my friends, Max. You can see this is his Twitter profile. He has pretty good results with the Zoro deck so far, even won a flagship in Singapore with it as well, beating me in the finals to win that flagship actually. And I do have some of that gameplay for you later to see as well. The deck is very good. I think you will be able to see the power of it once I've shown that gameplay part of it. Okay, next is 4 of OP01 Nami. Very staple Straw Hat Searcher, hits all of the choppers and also a lot of your other cards as well. So every single chopper is a target, which is good. So Kureha also has every single chopper as a target. It also hits Robson, which is Drunk Ignore type, and a few of the other cards that you'll see later. Specifically, Shut Up Let's Go, Urusei Iko, which is one of the very key cards in this deck as well. For 1 cost, you can look at the top 5 cards of your deck and you can play down a 3 cost or lower animal type character. So one of the most high roll options for this deck is by leaving 2 Dawn open on your 2 Dawn turn. Most people don't expect it, and then you play 2 of this counter event, and if you're lucky, you can hit 2 of the 08 chopper. And next turn, your board will have 2 08 choppers, which both swing, spawning another 4k each, and then you can play 1 more character with your remaining 3 Dawn. So on your 4 Dawn turn, you can have a 5 character board, which is really, really strong. Of course, that is the Giga high roll for this deck. You're not going to see it all the time, but it is very good. Another very strong play is in your opponent's lethal turns, using this to call one of your blocker choppers. So of course, you can't use that blocker for the attack that you're countering, but you can use it for the next few attacks, which makes it very, very strong as well. Next up, we have 3 Rush Zoros. So we are running 3 Zoros because for one, we want to make sure we still have a high animal count, but we also still want to have additional rushes. And of course, Zoro is a staple in this leader. Being able to play down a 3 cost that swings for 6k rush is really, really good, especially when you have other animals swinging already and they have to prioritize swinging into these other animals. The Zoro actually gets the chance to swing a lot of times as well. Next is 3 Kid and Killer. Kid and Killer is really, really good, especially in the red purple law matchup, because they go down to 2 life very quickly. You're able to put this down for a 8k swing with 1 Dawn on leader, so it's a lot of pressure onto your opponent in terms of their life. Next up for 2Ks, we have firstly Hiking Bear, which is the new OP08 animal 2K. This is actually a really, really good card. Dawn ×1, activate main once per turn. You can give one of your other animal type cards plus 1k. So it's really good in conjunction with the rest of your deck. So being able to play this down, and then after that, attach 1. Basically, you're getting 2 Dawn for the price of 1. And this comes down with the Alabasta Chopper as well. So if you're playing Alabasta plus the Hiking Bear, next turn you can attach 1 to the Hiking Bear and you can swing 5 plus 6 for only 2 Dawn invested, which is really good. The next 2k we're running is 3 of the Brook. He's the best Straw Hat 2k counter for this deck, primarily because of the attach rested Dawn effect, and he's also a 3k body, so the next turn you can attach 1 Dawn to him and swing for 5 as well. So that's another reason you want to use him. The next 2k counter is Makino. Makino is really good in conjunction with Nami and Kureha, especially in the current meta. There's actually going to be a lot of times where, for example, against a RP law, they don't really have the time to clear all of your searches because they're busy clearing the 08 chopper or other or your other smaller choppers, so they don't have anything to hit into the Makino or your searches. So this lets you put on a lot of pressure onto the RP law. For example, on your 3 Dawn turn, you can swing for 6 with your leader, and if they take, you can drop Makino and swing for 7 with one of the searches. Okay, next we have top end for this deck. So we are running 4 top end in total, and first we are going to be using the 8 cost Monkey D Dragon, very, very strong rush character. On play, attach 2 rested Dawn to one of your characters or leader. So this on 8 Dawn, if you have a relatively large board, let's say a lot of 4k characters, you can drop Dragon, attach 2 to leader, and then all of your 4k characters can swing, and then your leader swings 7 and Dragon swings for 10. So that is very, very powerful as well. It does really well into Lucci as well because of the large swing, as well as the fact that it's a relatively high cost, which makes it hard to clear this plus another character, and it puts on a lot of pressure with that 10k swing. It's also going to be a very key card against Black Yellow Luffy, just having that 9k body, which can hit into a 9k base without any Dawn attachment as well. The next top end we have is Rayleigh. Rayleigh is really good in this deck, especially against Red Purple Law. It's going to be the way that you really prevent lethal most of the times. So you're going to drop him on 8 Dawn or 9 Dawn, and then after that continue to swing as well. Usually on 9 Dawn, by attaching 1 to leader, you swing with all of your board and then you Rayleigh to clear your opponent's board as well, which makes it really, really good. In very niche situations, you can swing with the chopper and then drop Rayleigh to clear a 9k, but it's not very common that you'll meet that scenario as well. But still, it's a very, very powerful card. I think in conjunction with the leader effect as well, being able to give you a lot more value. The 8 cost makes it feel not it makes the 8 cost of the Rayleigh feel not that painful or not that expensive. And we're playing 2 one-offs to finalize everything. So first off, we have Nico Robin, 1 cost OP05. on-play KO a 1k power character. This is mainly used for Rebecca in Lucci decks, but you can also use it in conjunction with Chopper to KO Black Maria, which is really good. And the last one off we have is Diablo Jambe. Diablo Jambe, of course, main event, give up to one of your Straw Hat leaders or characters give one of your Straw Hat leaders or characters unblockable for the turn, which is really good for ending games against RP Law as well, because most of the time they go to 0 life and then just put a bunch of blockers down, so you can just Diablo Jambe and say, okay, ignore all of your blockers, swing 15k to face. So very, very, very good card as well. That being said, this is the basics of the deck. What you will want to see most often is the OP08 Chopper, because it's really what enables the deck to swarm very quickly. You also want to see the top end against, like I mentioned, BY Luffy against Lucci. Dragon is really good. Rayleigh is pretty good. And against RP Law, Rayleigh is also very good. And again, Zoro is a very straightforward game plan. Attack your opponent's face. So that's why we have Robson, we have Zoro, we have Ken Killer. It's very important to just maintain a rush character in hand, so you can swing with your leader and then with your rush character. Even if your board gets removed the following turn, as long as you can continue to apply that pressure on your opponent's face, you will still be able to win eventually. This deck does lose gas sometimes, especially in the later stages of the game, but I think it is very, very good still, and it's consistent enough to the point where it can definitely take games off of even Red Purple Law and Lucci. That being said, I will be showing a little bit of gameplay here between Max and I, him playing against my against my Red Purple Law as well as against my Black Lucci, and then you can kind of see how the deck really functions. You can also watch the full video of the game over here in the link above. We're starting off here with me going second. I won the dice roll, and this deck actually does want to go second more often than not. The main reason you will see later as well of how Max plays on the 6th dawn turn. He just drops 2 08 choppers there. Comes to my turn, I'm going second. I don't have stage, so I just Tempest Kick to get the brick out of my hand. In this matchup, most of the cards are also of a low cost, so you don't really need it anyway. The turn passes back over to Max. He drops Alabaster Chopper and Duck Squad. He was still running this before he swapped to Makino. This just gives you more flooding potential as a 3k body that allows you to punch face. So here I'm considering a few different plays. I do end up going for a 5k leader swing and then reducing costs on the Duck Squad and then dropping Rebecca plus Brooke to clear the Duck Squad. Turn goes back over to Max. He is going first, so this is the 5 dawn turn. He swings into my Brook, and I'm trying very hard to protect it. So I drop 2k to protect it. I block, and he's going to swing 4 with the Kureha, and I go give him another 1k guard. Because I really want to keep this Brook on the board to trade a 2 for 1, but he does show me the Rush Zoro, so I will end up giving it back to him. My 6th dawn turn here, if I had Lucci here, it would have been really, really good because I could have cleared all 3 things on board. For now, I swing 6 into the Alabaster Chopper, and Max is going to protect it. So by protecting it, he gets to get another swing at my face with it, which is really the important thing here, getting a large number of swings into the Lucci. So I Kaku to clear the Zoro, and then I pass my turn back to Max. So this is going to be Max's really strong turn. He's at 7. He has 1 on leader, swings 5 at my face. And I don't know how many hits are going to come, so I do want to guard early again. I trigger Tempest Kick on the chopper, and he shows me 2 08 choppers. So this is a really powerful 6 or 7 dawn play. He shows me the first one with a blocker chopper, and then the second one shows a OP01 chopper. And with that, he passes the turn back over to me. I still have not drawn Lucci, so I will be trying to clear the board just by smacking into it primarily. So first I go 6 into the blocker chopper, That's the first Lucci. I only have Kaku and Who's Who in hand, so I think I just swing 6 into the 01 and then I play a Kaku to clear the standing 08. Returning 2 cards, and then I pass the turn back over to him. He gets to swing with one of the 08 choppers, which is really rough for me, because he will be able to spawn another character off of that. So you can see the game plan here is to get my hand really low and then to basically push me with a lot of rush. And likewise for me, the game plan is to guard as much as possible so that I don't keep eating 7k consecutive attacks later. So he actually misses off the 08 chopper here, which is quite painful, but actually quite rare, all things considered. Then he swings 5 with the Kureha and then 7 with Leader, and then drops Kid Killer for another 8k swing, putting me on 1 life. And I hit trigger stage here, which is quite lucky because I haven't found the time to drop it from my hand. I top deck a Jack here. And with 2 Kakus on the board, I do have a couple of swings to clear his characters. So I swing 5 into Kid and Killer first, milling Ice Age and Who's Who. No Moria here on my 10 Dawn turn either, which is quite painful. And -1 cost to the 08 chopper. 7 into the Kid and Killer here. Then I see that he has 1 Dawn open, and I remember he searched the Shut Up Let's Go event, so I know he's going to play that for another 3 cost character. So I'm going to swing into the Kureha to guarantee it's an empty board on the following turn. Again, I know how to play against this matchup, which is why I'm usually making the correct plays, but many people won't really know this matchup that well. So when you're playing against Lucci with the Zoro, they may misplay and not actually clear all of your board, which will give you options to do damage even with your searches. As a good example here, if I didn't clear the Kureha, he could have used that to swing my face instead of just putting all his Dawn on Leader here. So Max just setting up a 2-turn lethal, forcing me to use my blocker. And he does have 2 Dawn open because he does still have 2 of the counter event left in his deck. So he's going to set up for that. So I make a slight misplay here as well by swinging with my Leader first before the Tempest Kick. But the Tempest Kick does draw me my Moria, which is lucky as well. And because of this slight misplay, it actually, I think, cost me the game. But I'll talk about that in a bit. So I'm just checking what's in my trash. How do I go about this Moria play? I know the 2 Dawn are open. I should be wary of them. So I'm just setting up my 2-turn lethal as well, trying to put him on as low life as possible. So swing here with my Lucci and probably my 2 Kakus as well. Max is concerned that maybe I'm going for lethal. He saw me mill the Rush Lucci earlier. And he does show me 2 of the Shut Up Let's Go, getting out a blocker chopper and then I believe another blocker chopper. So very insane anti-lethal here, preventing my next few swings. And I'm swinging 7 again in hopes that he's going to block first. But because he doesn't, I have to end up going with Moria, Tsuru, Rebecca, Spandam, Lucci. But if not, I could have done Spandam instead of the Tsuru, and that would have let me draw 1 more card because my 2 hand cards are both no counter at the moment. So if I had saved my Leader swing for last, then I would have been able to clear both as well as play a Spandam. But because I misplayed that, then I'm gonna get punished for it. So here's the full combo, Rebecca, Spendine, Lucci. Very fair and balanced combo, by the way, chat. So returning my 3 CP, play the Lucci of the Spendine effect, return 3 other random stuff, and then pray that he doesn't have 2 rush characters. And it's not super important what I put down at the bottom of my deck since the game is probably ending already, but just wanted to keep that rush Lucci in there just in case, I guess. And then passes the turn over, I have 2 cards in hand, he swings 5, and Max here actually thought he lost.
Doesn't matter why you rush, what? But I needed something that's not fucking whatever lah. Split.
You won? I got no guard. You win.
Oh yeah! Oh, monkey!
I got no guard. You win.
What?
Very funny time losing to 2 Robsons swinging 6k at my face, but it is what it is. It was a very fun flagship and I was really happy to meet my friend Max in the finals. This was also his first win, so really proud of him. Make sure to check out his Twitter, I'm gonna link it in the description below. That being said, thank you guys so much for watching Friendos and Randos. I hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. I think it's something that is pretty not that popular, surprisingly, even though this deck is pretty fun. I feel like it does still not have as much power as Red Power Law or Lucci, but it definitely can compete with the decks, and I think it is simple, it's fun, and it's powerful. So I hope you guys give this deck a shot, and I will see you guys again next time. Bye bye. As a postscript, after I recorded this video, they released the fact that the bans will be happening at the start of OP08 for the West. I think if that's true, then this deck is going to be really powerful. I think it has really good matchups across the board, and with Lucci not having stage, it's going to be much more difficult for him to remove your 3+3 cost every turn, especially if you're dropping 3 or 4 of them in a turn. I think it's going to be a very good meta for ZOORO. I hope you guys give the deck a chance.